Anthropic has been very busy. They have now developed a computer use model which can literally interact with your computer, kind of do clicks, type, navigate screens, and all of that. This technology is beta and very early days, but super exciting given if you think the capabilities can be just humongous. You give the AI some sort of question or a problem to solve, which requires multiple interaction, clicks, repeated use, think of automated forms, use cases from RPA world, etc. All of this guy can use. Apart from this week they have announced two new models, which is basically an update to Claude. So 3.5 Sonnet and Claude 3.5 Haiku, which is the smaller model. They also have added a capability which is an analysis tool, which now you can actually run code in there. So they were giving the capability to see code, visualize it, and they were already doing this for HTML. But now they're introducing an analysis tool, which is a new feature built in for Claude that enables to run and write JavaScript code. Let's talk about all of this. So the first feature is, really interesting, and I'll quickly show a video of computer use what it is. So what we're going to do is ask Claude basically look at the spreadsheet. What's happening is that they are looking at a spreadsheet and they are giving it an instruction that please fill out the vendor request form using data from another vendor request sheet, which is on the left hand side. So there are one is the form and another. So the action log is generated on the left hand side and there's a computer there. So it's going to figure out a lot of information here. It's going to do all of the searches, etc., etc. And now all of this is automatically generated by the LLM. So it's moving to cursor, doing clicks, taking screenshots, moving, typing, etc., etc. It's just super neat. This might look like magic, but basically computer is being operated by LLM at this point in time, and this is just great. A lot of scenarios leverage this kind of capability where you're filling forms, you're scraping off some information, you're trying to read through, scan through a bunch of websites. Like I could totally imagine asking this probably a few months down the line to do a web research and go to all of these pages, scan through important areas, take snapshots, put it into a place. So basically my research assistant capabilities are going beyond the ability to just do web searches, etc. So that is the core feature that they have introduced. I have not given it a try. I am going to. This month actually I switched to OpenAI because I wanted to try the strawberry model, but they dropped this, so another $20 or $23 that I need to spend to evaluate these features. Please smash that subscribe button. That will help these kind of videos reach to people who are interested in deeper content. I try to keep it less flashy and not a lot of fancy edits. I hope that is resonating with you guys. Let's continue. So Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the new one, and compared to the previous one, so it's much better at zero shots. In fact, it has, except ignoring the ability to look at GPT models or Gemini models, it's actually beating Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the current model. It is doing, for example, there's an agentic tool used in retail, it's doing 69% compared to 62. So everywhere it's doing much better. High school math is 16% actually. And undergraduate level not knowledge MMLU Pro code is going much higher in terms of human eval, which is 93%, which is very good. And they have interestingly not looked at all at O1 model, which probably could be some reason. So they have excluded that, and the argument is the evaluation table excludes OpenAI O1 model family as they depend on extensive pre-responses computation time, unlike typical models. These make comparison difficult. I think that's fair because O1 can take significantly large amount of time, and it's very good to factor in that parameter as a comparison dimension. So if you are interested in O1 and looking at the features, please drop in a comment. I'll do a video of that. And then they are trying to get into software engineering skills, state of the art, speed, affordability, Haiku, which is also a great model by the way. And all of these are totally available into players like AWS Bedrock, Google Vertex AI, and things like that. They're also doing a little bit research into responsible AI and all that. So that's also an area which is growing. There are a couple of websites that are tracking all of this work, which is something like OS World, which is Open World Benchmarking. So these are like real computer environments, and they are kind of doing some benchmarks around this. So lot of work like this is happening. Sorry, I was here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The second capability that they have talked about, an analysis tool. This can actually write and run JavaScript. That's pretty much it. If you want to think of the analysis tool as a built-in code sandbox where Claude can do math, analyze data, iterate on a bunch of ideas, and yeah, it's just state-of-the-art coding and data skills. You can upload CSVs and do some analysis of the data. For example, you uploaded a sales funnel, it's generating some sort of a neat JavaScript chart, which is kind of a good. It's a web app in itself. You would have needed a couple of weeks to do this some time back, or if you want to build a dashboard, probably much faster. So this can help a lot of different people, marketeers, product managers, engineers. You can basically take this data, upload there, and start to ask questions, which is just super nice. And most of these are part of feature preview, which is like a lab environment that they have. And finally, in their announcements, they are also talking about how they have developed the computer use model. What are the, what is the research process going around, and how is this process safe? And then fundamentally trying to, provide some reference or implementations, and then where they think that things are headed. These are interesting areas. However, this capability is very, very new. I think they have quoted that somewhere this is like 7% or something. Yeah, this is like, yeah, so currently on one evaluation created by test developers, they have used this approach. Claude currently gets 14.9%. Humans are like 75%, so long way to go, but it is significantly faster than compared to other AI models in the same category. So compared to any other model, they are almost 50% farther. Are they any good to humans in this state? No, but it would not be surprising to see this capability picked up by other players, and innovation can then happen much faster. And what else do they have? Yeah, these are the computer this is the computer use demo. They have published everything, all the deep information about it is published here. How can you run it as a Docker container? How do you set it up, etc. I'll have to play with this for a while to be able to digest this, how this works. But yeah, super super cool and interesting stuff. All of the links I'll try to dump it in the description. So yeah, that's from Claude, or rather Anthropic newsroom, basically what they have. So talking of, I've just touched upon all the initial ones. So we've talked about analysis tool, computer use model, the computer use capability itself. They have had a bunch of other notable newses, which is like societal impacts, U.S. election readiness. They have now an updated responsible scaling policy. There's a batch API, etc., etc. There are a lot of updates. They're doing contextual retrieval and all that. So this is a very good space if you want to learn about it. They publish very detailed articles, unlike, I think OpenAI does it, but I like them better. I wouldn't say, I don't know why. So yeah, that's pretty much it from this video. If you like this conversation, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Till the next video, bye bye.